We are igniting the blockchain today with Xendbit. This is Elizabeth. You know me as the Crypto Woman. And today it is my pleasure to introduce to you Bolaji Onibudo and his team of blockchain developers. They have been working on Xendbit for a couple years now, and they are in current negotiations with Javabeans to make Xendbit a child chain on the Ardor platform. About a month ago, Bolaji invited me to take a look at the Xendbit client wallet and gave me a tour. And I was so excited that we immediately got on a phone call with Lior from Javabeans. The rest is history. I hope you'll delve into this and learn a little bit more and share my enthusiasm. Let's get started.
Bolaji's a really interesting guy. He's been in software development for quite a while and has extensive education and experience. You want to tell us a little bit about that, Bolaji?
I spent about 7 years in the UK. Of course, that was during my A-level years, and then my undergraduate degree at University of Kent at Canterbury. That's the way they pronounce it then, and studied computer systems engineering. And one of the interesting things about my degree at the time was that in 1995, University of Kent got the recognition, global recognition by then Sun Microsystems, which was the first European Java campus, certified European Java campus by Sun Microsystems. So that made us, I was, an entry-level first-year student, and Java was a very exciting technology to be involved with at the time. And naturally, that progressed as I graduated, and 3 years later, after an industrial year, I joined Citrix Systems in Cambridge, UK, before I moved on to New York to join Capgemini Ernst & Young at the time, and worked on numerous project enterprise solutions in financial services, manufacturing, and telecommunications. Before I then returned to Nigeria to work on the first localized Linux operating system, at the time with Nkem, and Shegun later joined us. And we've all come back together now to work on this project. But before now, I also worked on the One Laptop Per Child project, which was sponsored by MIT, in terms of localizing that for the Nigerian market, and also did some innovations around mobile money and airtime lending, which are some of the innovations that are driving financial inclusion in Africa. We've all heard about M-Pesa, which has been phenomenally successful in Eastern Africa. We were also involved with the first mobile money company in Nigeria, Moneybox, which is growing, and at some capacity. Some of our team members have also done things similar with others. So now we thought it was a time to do something new and exciting, revolutionary, and we were looking at blockchain and investigating quite a number of blockchains. And the Nxt platform was so excellently put together, and us being a Java shop, we were quick to learn very quickly from the various tools and documentation available, and we were able to do a fork of ZenCoin. It's one thing to do a coin, to fork a coin. It's another thing to create solutions that are best fit for use cases and solve particular challenges. And with crypto exchanges, we know that there are significant risk associated with centralized exchanges, as we've seen over the past couple of years. Lots of hacks, exchanges going out of business, and users losing their funds, and also we realize that there's a lot of talk about how to improve that, and obviously decentralization, as originally proposed by Satoshi, was the proper way to implement that, and we also find that there's a larger percentage of crypto traders in Africa do over the counter and don't like to keep their assets on exchanges due to a lot of cumbersome withdrawal rules and policies, and also the speed at which they want to be able to trade, to have some fluidity. So we wanted to solve this problem by building a decentralized exchange. An NXT platform was most ideal for us to do this because it already had a decentralized asset exchange for the NXT based clones and related coins. So we wanted to do something that also looked at multi-chains, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and others.
Okay, so you did choose the NXT platform, and you also went one step further and created smart Javabeans because you wanted smart contracts. And you actually have that up there on your GitHub right now.
Yes, we do. I conceived the idea of the smart Javabeans because NXT was so beautiful, so excellent to us, and we said it needs smart contracts, and not realizing that Jalaruda was already implementing the lightweight contract, and we were sort of working in parallel without realizing it. And of course, many of the principles are very similar, particularly with regards to stateless smart contracts. And then we also had looked at stateful contracts, which of course developers who use that have to be very, very aware of what they're about to do, and ensure that they do not do implementations that might exhaust resources of the nodes and so on. Because, essentially with Java, you can pretty much embark on all the available packages from numerous sources.
I believe great minds think alike, and I thought it was really fascinating that you and Jalarita were both on the same path of thinking there. I've done a lot of reading about Xendbit, and I see that you were actually awarded the Excellence in Application of Blockchain and Financial Inclusion, and that you're actually a member of the West African Blockchain Council. So you have some recognition there in your country already for the work that you've done.
If I may now comment on the excellence award of excellence in financial inclusion. So the vision for Xendbit beyond the exchange is also to provide financial services to the underbanked and those who are not don't have access. And of course, when you're talking about financial inclusion, it's not just having a bank account, is having access to other financial services, including insurance, mortgage, and so on, and credit. So we feel that the foundation of this is really to have the exchange so there's liquidity for monetizing assets, if the need be, and there's ample connectivity to the banking network. So in case people want to cash out. So that's the essence of the exchange. It's the foundation layer for all this other financial services, including social intervention initiative that might come from government, as well as aid from foreign agencies or bodies or even individuals to leverage the blockchain to essentially have transparency between donor and beneficiaries. So some of those things features are what we think will be necessary to enable financial inclusion, whereby there's a lot of trust, there's transparency, there's provenance, and of course, there is better identity management, and we also put in identity because really identities are assets, and that's why people steal identities. Because if I have full control of your identity, I could apply for credit in your name and begin to get benefits, even social benefit from the government. So we look at our identity to become assets in the future in the way we're thinking about things.
That's impressive. To me, people heard me say this before, that I think that's one of the best uses of blockchain in the future, and one of the best ways that it's going to help make our world a better place. So I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. Let's introduce Segun.
Okay, so I had BTech in computer science and engineering from Lautech, Ladoke Akintola University of Technology in Nigeria. From there, I went to Abuja to work for a company called Access Solutions, where I developed the first inmate biometric registration system for registering inmates in Nigeria. After that, I came to Lagos and I joined Bolaji in Wazobia, developing Wazobia Linux. From there, I got a consultancy job with MTN Nigeria to help them in the managing and monitoring and maintaining the SIM card registration system. So I did that for a couple of years. And then I went to Ethiopia to do management and monitoring and maintenance of their biometric systems as well for Ethiopia Telecoms. After that, I came back to Nigeria, and then I joined Globalcom Nigeria also as a consultant, monitoring, managing, and maintaining their biometric SIM card registration system.
Wow, I'm really impressed with your background in biometrics. It seems to follow you, and maybe we can see what the future holds with biometrics and blockchain and your involvement in it.
May I add from one other credit to Segun on the smart Javabeans? As I conceive it and think about the design and architecture, Segun and the likes of Uriade, also very hands-on in making it a reality in terms of coding and putting the sources together. So credit to them as well.
So tell us a little bit about the smart Javabeans.
Okay, so the idea behind the smart Javabeans is to be able to execute arbitrary code on the blockchain. When Bolaji pitched the idea to me, we were thinking, what name should we call it? We don't want to just call it smart contracts. And they said, well, we already have EJBs, that's Enterprise Javabeans. So let's call these ones SJBs, smart Javabeans. So that was how we came up with the smart Javabeans name. Yeah. So what we've done is we've built a system where a developer can write arbitrary Java code following a specific format. Of course, we have to extend and implement some classes. After you have done that, you pass your code through our compiler. The compiler generates bytecode and a documentation. The documentation is in JSON format. It's not like your Java documentation. It's a JSON format that tells you the name of the class, the methods in the class, the types that the method expects and stuff. Now, this is what you send to the blockchain.
Okay, so would it be like the content runner or the content container of the lightweight smart contract?
Something like that. The the smart contract runner. I think it's called a contract runner.
Yes, I believe that's what they're calling that. Yes. So, well,
Um,
I think that's very interesting. Now, of course, as we move forward with your project and your collaboration with Jelarita, I'm curious to see how you work all of those things out. But again, I'm still pretty fascinating, or it's fascinating to me that that you came up with a similar idea on another part of the world and in a completely different Java shop, right? So very interesting. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of your contributions later. Now let's talk to David Kay. David has been working with Bolaji for a long time too. And the first time I met him, he was pretty humble in his introduction and basically said he's the guy who makes sure that things get done. So let's talk to David and hear what he does to make sure that things get done.
Basically, I have a background in a degree in applied physics from University of Benin, Nigeria. And also I did some postgraduate courses in the UK in 1 or 2 business schools, and also some computer science courses at master's level at Birkbeck College in University of London. I've worked in IT for quite a number of years, starting with Data Stream International in the City of London, doing software that manages financial historical data, and then doing some time with Royal Bank of Scotland in the UK, building currency trading systems basically on Unix using Reuters libraries to do counterparty and graphical forward ladders and things like that. Came back to Nigeria, worked with the United Bank for Africa as a senior IT manager, and also did some time consulting with PricewaterhouseCoopers in Lagos in strategy and IT and business process re-engineering and that kind of thing. Then also, I was also in Europe with Fujitsu Consulting, doing some IT consulting, and also in GSM software engineering with Lucent Technologies for some time. So I've known Bolaji for over 10 years. The first project that we did together was the mobile money project called Moneybox Africa. We actually got the first license in Nigeria for mobile money, and our team also facilitated the regulatory guidelines for mobile money with the Central Bank of Nigeria. So on this project, I basically look after the sort of things that need to be looked after in terms of operations to make sure that we're not dropping the ball end to end from the value chain of the project, ranging from governance, to how we view the market, how we profile our customers, to product design, service design, to making sure we have enough financial resources, to making sure that we are hiring the kind of people, that we have the right type of tools in terms of technology, and also in terms of productivity tools. Also, ensuring that the business processes are carefully articulated, both at the back office and the front office, and also making sure that the promises we're trying to make to the market can actually be delivered within the right turnaround times. So basically, that's my role on the project.
Well, it sounds like you have extensive experience to bring to the team and to the project, and there's a lot to get done and manage. How long has the team actually been working on Xendbit?
So that would be about 2 years now. I'll be 2 years by October. And that's just because I felt I was late in the game, and I only found out about blockchain and cryptocurrencies around mid-2016. And immediately I grabbed Shego and David, and we started looking at building a wallet, thinking about an exchange, thinking about building, creating a new coin, We just wanted to do everything that was doable. We were able to also identify numerous use cases for blockchain within government. And given that, a lot of systems are not well established in Africa, Africa really presents a huge opportunity for blockchain applications in terms of dApps. So some of the things we were hoping to do with Smart Javabeans was to build dApps for numerous use cases, both in public and private sector, that could help in development within emerging markets. It was also worth noting that the idea that a whole lot of people have Java skills in Africa than Golang or Solidity also, as you would even expect globally, also made it sort of like common sense to opt for a Java-based blockchain platform. And of course, there's the scalability advantage as well.
So you have been pursuing the idea, though, of a child chain, though, on Ardor. Is that correct?
Yes, we have been pursuing the idea of child chain on Ardor because obviously we want to be focused on applications and use cases that solve problems. And we believe that blockchain as a service is a key offering that it's a service layer or vertical whereby you need specialization to do that, and sort of allows us to focus more on our core business function, which is building blockchain applications and possibly also deploying different blockchains for different clients and businesses and different verticals as well.
Very good. And you have a white paper and a website. I'm going to provide that information wherever this video shows up for people to research. But some of the particulars and goals are changing probably as you negotiate with Javabeans. And one of those things might be the dates of your ICO. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So right now we are looking at a private sale to start around 1st November, which has been pushed significantly since we've been talking to Javabeans, and also just to also get our legal side in line and ready for our launch. So if we hope to conclude that private sale, which is also been sort of in consideration by investors right now, will be concluded by end of November, and then we hope to do a pre-sale in December and possibly the main sale by January. But they would definitely follow each other. But I think that the dates are not likely to move.
That's coming up, though. That's coming up soon. I know this is a little bit premature, perhaps, because the negotiations haven't been finalized. But do you have a projection of when your child chain might be implemented?
So we understand that takes roughly a minimum of 3 to 6 months. So hopefully we should get that up and ready by February, March 2019 at the latest.
We all hope so. Now, to get a child chain launched and to have an ICO requires a lot of marketing and messaging effort. And so we have Nxt here with us today, and Nxt is in charge of their digital marketing. What are some of the most exciting things about this project that you want to tell the world, and what are some of your biggest challenges?
One of the most exciting things is the fact that this is an Africa-focused ICO, and an Africa-focused coin that will, really help intra-African trade and intra-African money exchanges as well, on a P2P level. And as Bolaji mentioned, there are not a lot of African-based blockchain projects and blockchain uses yet. And, just the possibilities of what the exchange can actually do in terms of tokenization projects that are blockchain focused, for communities, for, aid in Africa, and for infrastructure projects and different things. So we're very, very excited about, what comes after the ICO and what comes after the exchange is up and running, and all the possibilities. But obviously before that, we're preparing for the ICO, and we're looking at obviously doing a very global campaign, and involving all global stakeholders within the, cryptocurrency landscape and blockchain landscape, and making sure that, we become a very relevant player in terms of being an exchange that is focused on Africa and attracting investments from all over the world. So, one of the things that is, I guess, a big challenge is how do you run such a global campaign without forgetting, the African stakeholders as well, and making sure that you educate the consumers in Africa properly, to also highlight and showcase the opportunities that this ICO offers them, right? Because there are obviously different levels of exposure and education in the crypto space, and there is a very large trading community here in Nigeria and across Africa that we also look to tap into. So we're very excited to use digital marketing, as well as peer-to-peer marketing and direct marketing, referral schemes, and things like that to onboard as many people onto our wallet, and also obviously get as many people as possible interested in the different stages of our ICO.
Well, you have an exciting job. A
challenging
one, but an exciting one.
Very.
We'll be watching for your messages, and be sure to jump in and interact with the Ardor Nxt community too, because there's a lot
fantastic
that can help you get your message out, we hope. Now, Kim, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you became interested in blockchain?
Okay, so my background is actually in software development. So I met Bolaji when I studied in Germany, and I studied bioinformatics, and I was a programmer there in a pharmaceutical company. And then I moved back to Nigeria, and my first boss was Bolaji. And yeah. So the rest is history. I then started a software company that was mainly focused on developing web solutions for the Nigerian market. And over time, we've kind of realized that, obviously it's great to build a solution, but what do you do once the solution is up and running? You need to drive traffic to it. You need to make sure that users actually understand it and that you get user adoption, because without any traction, you really and truly have no product, right? So that's how I got into digital marketing, and have kind of been doing that the past couple of years. So at some point, Bolaji reached out to me and said, hey, you know what? We need someone on the team that is strong in digital marketing and that also understands, development and actual technology, how technology is built. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I got onto the team, and so it wasn't really, I'm so interested in blockchain or technology. It was more of the relationship. But I've learned so much in terms of how blockchain technology and crypto actually works, and all the different benefits and use cases that are being explored currently, and it's super exciting. And I feel like it can add so much value to the current African economy as a whole, and just allowing people financial freedom, and also allowing intra-African money transfer and money and trade, because this is a very big issue. We are set up to trade with the rest of the world, but we're not set up to trade within Africa. So I think this is the exchange actually offers a very great opportunity for Africa to really develop trade. And it's one of the things that a lot of African governments are looking at now. There is an intra-African trade agreement that was recently signed. So I think this is the time to be involved in, this ICO and just blockchain in general.
I agree with you. And I'm also noticing a trend here. Bolaji, you seem to be exceptional about putting a team together and keeping a team together. You've got some great team building skills there. And people like to come back and work with you. I see that we still have Oriati with us. If we can have him jump back in and tell us his part. Oriati, it's nice to meet you. I've not talked to you yet, but you're part of this awesome team.
Yes, thank you very much.
So what is your main responsibility here with Xendbit and Zencoin?
Okay, so just to put it in summary, I'm the guy that helps Shegun implement all the tasks and the things we've been given to do in our department. So I work as a software developer here.
Oriati, I understand you're doing some exciting work with UI. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so I work on the Windows wallet, the Mac version of the wallet, and the Linux version of the wallet as well. And then on the website we have we have a wallet, a decentralized exchange wallet, and that's what I work on, and I assist Shegun with other backend development as required. But majorly I work on the UI and the Windows wallet and the website.
You know, one of the things that really got me excited about your project was when Bolaji actually sent me a link to your wallet, and I jumped in and looked at it. So good job. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the things that you've done to enhance the end user experience?
All right, so I said we have introduced the QR code that helps the users to be able to grab their network addresses, their public addresses, and then make use of it right in a click. You know, it's a very complicated description. So also we've made it easy to switch wallets for the users to be able to switch their wallets. Just with the click of button, they can turn from their Litecoin wallets to their Zencoin wallets to their Bitcoin wallet, and that makes it easier for them to use. And we also make sure that their general experience happens with 2, 3, 4 clicks of a button, and they're able to maybe sell, buy, or trade as it goes.
That is key. The fewer clicks of the button until we get to the action that we want to execute is really important.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
We'll watch for that. It's nice to have somebody dedicated specifically to the user experience.
So one of the things we've also done is to ensure that the user do not have to enter their 12-word passphrase all the time. So the wallet makes sure that that is done for them automatically. And all they need to do is to keep it safe.
Okay, so what you're saying is that the user won't have to enter the 12-word passphrase every time they make a transaction. Yes. I see.
Every time they make a transaction. Yeah. So that's one of the things we have done to make life easier for them.
You know how many times you have to go and open an encrypted note somewhere? and then make sure you close your encrypted note with every transaction. I think that's amazing. It'll make my life easier. Great.
Okay, I was going to say that one of that thing we've done is that if you use an iPhone or you use an Android phone that has biometric support, you don't have to enter your password to log into the wallet. You just use your fingerprint to log in.
Really? So on my iPhone, I can do that?
Yes.
That's really interesting. So you're basically looking at all of the different ways that you can incorporate current technology of the actual devices that people use every day, and interface them with your wallet and your blockchain.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's going to make life a lot easier. Which
Yes,
aspect of the project are you most excited about?
I'm quite excited about our ability to implement the smart Javabeans and bringing the Zen identity into the blockchain, such that this Zen identity can be used even in Africa for various purposes, including bringing in trust, such that trust into aids and grants and loans, and bringing in giving opportunity to the unbanked that are here in Nigeria and in Africa as a whole to have access to these grants and loans and aids from various sources and places. And most times the intermediaries that are in between these the providers of these grants and loans and the actual beneficiaries are usually play some smart games. But with our blockchain solution and the Zen identity, the smart identity, we'll be able to verify, we'll be able to authenticate, and we'll be able to use the blockchain to give a persistence to whatever persistence to aids and grants, such that the providers will trust that, okay, whatever they are releasing is getting directly to the beneficiaries. So I'm very excited about that. I'm also excited about our ability to bring in a wallet that uses the local Tether coins, and then the multi-chain blockchain exchange that we are building, which is also totally and fully decentralized. So I'm quite excited about that.
The possibilities that verified identification give to the future of economic development is just kind of mind-boggling when you sit and think about it. You know, the landscape of Africa, other developing countries could be completely different in 10 years. It's going to be exciting to watch this happen, I think. So, and I see down in another corner, we do have Daniel. Daniel, I've not met you either, but I am happy to meet you today. I understand you're part of this team too, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about your role and responsibilities.
Okay, hi, it's nice to meet you too. So I am actually the creative designer of the team. So I kind of help out graphic-wise. So I know you've heard a lot about the developing side. So I'm basically the creative guy on the team, helping them sort of put their ideas in a graphic way to communicate their message. And
very important role. It has to look nice in order for people to want to jump in and do it.
Yeah,
do you have any input on the user interface?
I kind of work with the guys who develop and design the UI interface. I'm a new member of the team, so I haven't been here that long, but I'm kind of looking at it and pitching in ideas and kind of helping them put it all together.
Yeah. Well, I've been around the crypto world long enough to know that if the user interface is not good, that people will turn around and go the other way. So you have a very important role.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's like that across most nowadays. It's like that, not just with the crypto, but like, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. And it sounds like you have a great team to work with. So it's nice to meet you. Maybe we'll talk again. And
you too.
I'm seeing somebody else pop in here now. Here is Sadia. And I've not met you, Sadia. Sadia, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, I'm the company's accountant. We keep record, bookkeeping, and preparation of final accounts, financial.
I'm having a very hard time understanding you. We're having a bad connection. Okay, I will just summarize that Sadia is the company's bookkeeper and keeps the financial accounts. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. It's nice to meet you, Femi. I understand that you're off location.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, I'm still in Lagos. I'm just in a different part of the city. Okay. So my role on the project is, I think from now, is essentially to take it to production. So we've got an MVP at the moment. It works. It has the functionality. But what I'm trying to do is to make sure that it works as stated. So we don't have any surprises, we don't have surprise bugs or crashes and so forth, and we can validate the stability of the app. And that's the app on the different client apps we have. So both the Android version, the desktop version, and the iOS, which is not ready yet, but something which we're also going to be helping to push through, and also the server platform. So what we want to do is essentially just to QA everything that's been built so far, make sure it works according to the workflows and the UX that have been stated by Shegun and already, and to make sure that the server doesn't fall over, and if it does, how quickly can we get it restarted back on? So we're trying to just get a baseline for the system to know, okay, this is how many transactions we can handle. These are how many users we can handle. These are the specs we need to run it. So as and when we do scale, we know as the user growth continues and as the trading volume hopefully continues, we'll know when to scale up and how to scale, whether we're scaling with memory or CPU or more nodes and so forth. So that's the core of what we're trying to do, and then also lend support in other areas. Obviously, we will find faults. I know developers don't like to see them, but we will find faults, and obviously we can also help to fix them as well as they come through.
Okay, so it's not just quality assurance, but you're also doing analysis and
yes.
To make the project better.
Yeah, and it's also just a case of putting in analytics tools as well. So users, we can have analytics of how do users use the app. Do they have multiple wallets? Are there any buttons on the app that they're not actually touching or using? Where do they spend most of their time? So we can essentially know how to make it better.
Wow, very good, very good. That means that it's going to be a dynamic project. We're going to be able to watch it improve and adapt itself to future devices and to future workflows and applications and all sorts of things. Femi, you're kind of like the final leg, the final piece of the block before it hits the market, before the end user uses it, and you also get the feedback. So from that vantage point, what are you most excited about?
Well, what I'm excited about is it's essentially okay, well, when I came on board the project, it was well, guys, this is great. It actually works, and it's there because you've seen so many blockchain projects, and they always talk about what we are going to do, what we can do, but not actually what we have. And it was okay, this is the case that this is actually there. And what I'm excited about is to take it from point of view of from our end customer's point of view. I'm excited about making it more mainstream. So I don't want a case whereby you have to know how to use cryptocurrencies. You have to really be how can I say, an evangelist before you can use it. I want a case whereby it's a 2 or 3 click operation to get something done. So for you, it's just as easy as logging into your banking app and just using an app. Rather than having to know all the nuances and complexities of it. If you want to see that, yes, it's all there. It's there to provide you with the trust, but it should be so easy to use that you don't have to.
And those of us who've been working around crypto and blockchain now for several years have been waiting for that day when people will use the blockchain and not realize that they're using a blockchain.
Exactly.
So maybe you'll be one of the very first to provide that experience for us.
It has really been an honor to meet and have a conversation with the Xendbit team. Bolaji, you do work with a group of exceptional people, and I am pleased to introduce you to the Ardor and Nxt community. This conversation has been amazing and motivational for me. I really hope your negotiations with Gelarita wrap up soon, and I wish you all the very best success. Bolaji, is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Yeah, thank you so much, Elizabeth, for taking the time to have an interview session with us to see what we're doing. And we're very excited and happy to be part of the Ardor child chain family. Yeah. I guess if we're Ardor's children, and Ardor is our a parent, and so we're glad to be part of the family. And we look forward to engaging in new innovations that are purposely built to solve real problems and challenges here in the emerging markets, Africa, Nigeria, and also the rest of the world. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. I love your vision. Let's go and tackle this world and ignite this blockchain together. Talk to you later.